So
Yeah,
it's not mine, it's the
okay.
agency's.
I understand. So maybe field that to Dolores.
Yep, that would
All
go
right.
right to the
All right.
sheriff.
Will do.
So you guys don't have badge numbers?
No, we have radio numbers.
Radio number?
Yeah.
Get your radio number, please, Mr. Johnson.
2343.
Pardon me?
2343.
2343. Can I ask you a couple questions real quick? Why is it that the deputies and officers are a lot of times really reluctant to say that and feel sort of like humiliated when someone asks them for their name and badge numbers and to identify themselves, yet they're going to put us in a cage if we don't?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why other deputies would have an issue with
So you have no idea whatsoever?
why the other deputies do.
Right.
Like I said, I don't have a problem with it, and I think you guys.
Well, I understand that, and you didn't, and you're acting very professional.
Yeah, that's
thank you.
awesome.
And I appreciate that, but you honestly can say that you haven't noticed that at all with any of your
I am aware
colleagues?
that deputies do get a little, because I don't say the reasoning, I don't know, and I've never actually asked them.
Okay, so have you ever heard of First Amendment auditors?
First Amendment auditors.
Auditors, yeah. Have you heard that? Have you had any instruction from your chain of command on First Amendment auditors?
Being specifically, no, not off the top of my head.
Okay, but you've heard the word.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I imagine that you have a negative opinion of First Amendment auditors. Would that be accurate?
Well, without looking at it, I don't want to say I have a negative or positive until I'm specific.
Well,
on
I would say that you
Okay.
guys have had a conversation about people photographing in public, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know,
Okay.
And we've had even training and stuff like that has came up with it.
Yeah.
And you know, to my understanding and the way I understand my training is, you guys have the legal ability to do it.
yeah.
The biggest thing is as long as it's not affecting my safety or the safety of the person if I'm dealing with somebody else or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where we're training. Hey, if they're over there doing it, or if you direct them and they go over there just to kind of be out of our officer safety, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
That's why they're training us to do that versus getting. Now I know that there has been some case law. There's also been videos that have been posted where officers are getting very defensive of videoing,
Yeah.
and what's there behind there, that's between them and their agency and what they've gone through.
Yeah.
Some of them have gotten in trouble for it. I mean, the courts have stepped into some of those and everything else. So the biggest thing is as long as it comes into the safety, you guys can video all day long.
So,
Let's have that right.
So I have one question I want to get out there, as many as you're going to tolerate, but I want one for sure, and that is, so you know that filming in public is a constitutionally protected activity, right?
Right.
So if I'm in a public space where I have a constitutional right to film, and the person that say a supervisor that's supervising over that public space doesn't like her picture taken, doesn't like what I'm doing, and she calls the sheriff's office and says, I want these people off of my property. Okay, so you've taken an oath to protect my rights, right? So my question is, when you arrive there, are you going to go up to the supervisor and ask what they want done, or are you going to make sure that my rights are protected?
Well, we're going to find out what the totality of the circumstances are.
I'm filming in public.
Are you on private property or not? Understand what I'm saying? If you, because you have the right to trespass people from your private property. If you're on public property, then yeah, you can do it, as long as obviously you don't fall within.
What if you're at a post office? Would you consider that private property?
What's that?
A post office.
A post office? Within the parking lot and the confines of that building, depending on which building it is, it usually is private property.
Okay, so that's the
I
way they're.
understand that there's tax base that comes into it. Does it now become public property because it's a tax based item or not?
And so,
You're getting into federal stuff.
right. So, but this opinion that you have, the reason that you're going to do it that way is because that's the way you were trained, correct?
Well, here's the question: is that who actually owns the building?
Exactly.
I'm guessing this is related to a case that happened up in Hayden.
Well, it's happening everywhere.
Okay.
It's happening everywhere.
And so, who is the owner of that property?
Right.
Is it the post office that owns that property or not? Okay. So if it's the post office does not own it and they lease that property, then it's still not government because it's a leased property.
Well, and then the way the law's written too, whoever's running the site can essentially.
Yep. And that's where you run into.
And then essentially, even if, like, I got trespassed yesterday just for filming at CityLink, and
Okay, yeah.
I was there for literally 5 minutes
Right.
and had the police called on me.
And they didn't talk to him. Let's see what happened. They went
So,
over there to
anyways.
say, how do we want to violate this man's, how do you want us to violate this man's rights?
Well, that's the person that called, so we want to
Yeah.
go to them. The reason why we usually will go to them first is going, what
What's
is
going
going on? We need to know, why are you calling us here other than what they've
Yeah.
provided to dispatch? Okay. And sometimes we even want to confirm what they're saying to dispatch is
Yeah.
still what's going on. So that's why a lot of times we will go to the RP or the reporting party first, contact them, find out what is going on, and then figure it out from there. Now, if it's going over and going, okay, if it's you, for an example, hey, what's going on? I'm being told this. Is that what's going on? So we should be getting both sides of the story and then finding out if there's a violation or if this is not a violation.
So here's my question.
Okay?
If I'm in a public space and I have a constitutional right to film in a public space, and the supervisor there says, I want him kicked out of here because he's filming in a public space, and I don't like it. I want him out of here. He's filming, and I don't like it. Okay, are you going to do what they say, or are you going to say, ma'am, we can't kick him off of this property for filming. He has a constitutional right to film.
It's kind of the way the laws are written.
If-
Are you going to protect our rights, is what I'm saying. Nobody's protecting our rights, sir.
Right. But we have to go within the guidelines of those rights
Yeah.
as well. So if you are on the curb and you are filming, as long as you're not following the obviously like voyeurism laws of filming, I mean just saying that there are state statutes that cover certain things. But if you are on the public roadway and you're videoing and they say, hey, I don't want that person there, I don't want them videoing, I would come to you and say, hey, just let you know this happened. This is the person that said it. And I would tell the other person, they have every legal right to stand there and videotape.
You hear that, Kootenai County Sheriff's Office? You need to get this man right here promoted. Mr. D. Johnson, he walked up here, was very professional. He didn't snub us. He didn't roll his eyes in the back of his head when we talked to him.
Yep.
And I want to highlight this officer right here. I am Audit CDA Idaho. I have no animosity towards law enforcement whatsoever, and I hope that this officer or this deputy here shines because he's actually impressed me personally
Thank you.
in this conversation I've had. I think he's
rare.
uninformed. He's uninformed about the private citizens' constitutional rights versus business or government supervisors. I think it's the leadership and training, I think, is what's going on here. It's not this person's heart. This person I can see has a good heart, and I commend him. And thank you very much for answering some of my questions,
Any
buddy. I
other questions
appreciate
for
it.
me?
No, man.
Okay.
Hey, could you give me a shout out? Audit CDA Idaho.
Audit CDA.
Yeah, just say
Idaho.
watch Audit CDA Idaho.
See Idaho. Watch Audit CDA Idaho.
Charlie Delta Alpha. Watch CDA Idaho. Hey, don't worry about it, bud. Thanks. I appreciate you, man.
Okay, guys.
You've been great.
Appreciate it. If you guys need anything else,
All right, we're
let us
good.
know.
Have a
Okay,
good one.
guys.
Can I search your car?
Search my car?
Yeah. Can I pat you down?
No.
You're on a burner today.
Okay, you guys have a good day.
Yeah, take care. We got the entertainment value down.
Yeah. Well, I
That was
just
good.
took advantage of this guy willing
Yeah.
to sit here and talk with us, you know, and this is what I'm trying to say. These guys don't have a bad heart.
That was good.
Their leadership is failing them.
Yep, absolutely. Well done. That was good. Good stuff, man.